welcome to my channel, Sparkle On with John. Happy Tuesday, happy now moment. Welcome to my channel if you are new. Today we are showing the synchronicity that is occurring right now before us, right now before me. So I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to show you the synchronicity here. Synchronicity means things happen in a synchronistic manner. So essentially, miracles happen in a synchronistic manner. And the sentiment of the endeavor of opening the book and then randomly opening the page, right? And I have the Arcturian. Mind you, keep in mind the word Arcturus, the star system Arcturus. And I have next to, I'm going to flip the camera around. Arcturian Songs of the Masters of Light by Patricia Pieta. Arcturian Star Chronicles. And then I have here Poets of the Twenties, The Human Condition. And so today, I'm going to flip the camera around. Enjoy the ride. Did you enjoy the ride? Today I'm going to read Epistle to be Left in the Earth by Archibald Macleish. Epistle to be Left in the Earth. It is colder now. There are many stars. We are drifting north by the Great Bear. The leaves are falling. The water is stone in the scooped rocks. To southward, red sun, gray air. The crows are slow on their crooked wings. The jays have left us, long since we passed the flares of Orion. Each man believes in his heart he will die. Many have written last thoughts and last letters. None know if our deaths are now or forever. None know if this wandering earth will be found. We lie down and snow covers our garments. I pray you, if any, open this writing. Make in your mouths the words that were our names. I will tell you all we have learned. I will tell you everything. The earth is round. There are springs under the orchards. The loam cuts with a blunt knife. Beware of elms in thunder. The lights in the sky are stars. We think they do not see. We think also. The trees do not know, nor the leaves of the grasses. Hear us. The birds too are ignorant. Do not listen. Do not stand at dark in the open windows. We before you have heard this. They are voices. They are not words at all, but the wind is rising. Also, none among us has seen God. We have thought often the flaws of sun in the late and driving weather, pointed to one tree, but it was not so. As for the nights, I warn you, the nights are dangerous. The wind changes at night, and the dreams come. It is very cold. There are strange stars near Arcturus. Mind you, Arcturus? Voices are crying an unknown name in the sky. Do you guys see the synchronicity that is happening right now before us? Arcturian Songs of the Masters of Light. And randomly, I opened the book up to page 114 and 115. And Epistle to be Left in the Earth carries on to the next page, 115. In Poets of the Twenties, The Human Condition. There are strange stars near Arcturus. Voices are crying in an unknown name in the sky. And then look, Arcturian Songs of the Masters of Light. So I wanted to share that with you today in today's video. And I hope you are well, and So I started my day out with, of course, breath work and meditation. And then I made a smoothie, a yummy smoothie with frozen strawberries and blueberries, chocolate Oregain, and unsweetened vanilla coconut milk. And then I had some wonderful cut up organic cantaloupe and honeydew melon that my husband cut up. And that was really, really lovely. And I come here and I sit on this beautiful lavender painted table. It's wooden, and it's been my sanctuary lately. And I think it's really essential. I find that I feel so much better when I'm on this table and when I'm listening to what my body needs and practicing yoga, not on this table, but in the yoga room, in the God room with the cats. And it's really, really lovely. And it really helps. And I witness in my mind before and after practice of breath work and yoga. Today I did a vinyasa flow with breathe and flow. And it was good. It was what I need, and I wanted, a challenging vinyasa. But she says with each, when you practice often, that it becomes easier. And it was definitely a wonderful, intense class. It reminds me of my teacher's class. She teaches Hatha, and I felt like I was with my teacher, and that was really lovely. So, back to the morning. I think it's really essential, I feel like, for our mental health to listen to the birds. And it is said that when there are birds around, that the environment is healthy, and that's a good sign, so know that. I saw a butterfly above our roof, and I've been connecting with butterflies a lot lately, and you may have too. And from what I understand is that butterflies are loved ones in spirit form, that just come around to remind us and let us know that they are around, and that their love is still present with us. But the birds, I feel like the birds balance equilibrium in the brain, and there's no EMFs from the birds. So let's get back to the poem. So there are strange stars near Arcturus, and I'm currently reading the Arcturian Songs of the Masters of Light by Patricia Pieta. I highly recommend it if you feel connected to the Arcturian star system. Then go ahead and find these books. You can probably order them. They're beautifully written and channeled material, and so beautiful. I could read on the back of the book. Where do the songs come from? Certainly, in essence, some place other than our tormented earth plane. They are the power of positive thinking raised to the level of song and poetry. Reading them isn't just a passive experience, but an activity. You find yourself braced, getting up and going out to change the world. John Chambers, former senior editor, McGraw-Hill, and director, New Paradigm Books. In 1987, medical transcriptionist Patricia Pieta suddenly started receiving telepathic communication from the star Arcturus, and was requested to begin a series of galactically inspired manuscripts. Arcturian Songs of the Masters of Light is the 4th volume in the series. The mission of this series, of this book, if this video cuts out, it's because my camera can't hold anymore. But I just wanted to share this because light is information. The mission of the series of this book is to awaken us to our individual and collective spiritual obligation for the health and well-being of our planet and all creatures who live upon her. Philosophical in scope, the essays in these books provide pragmatic, practical suggestions for emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual transformation. They remind us of our familial relationships to beings of light who inhabit the great star nations. The books are like oracles or cosmic flashcards. They can be opened and read at any part or read in their entirety. Arcturian Songs of the Masters of Light moves beyond solely Arcturian energies to incorporate the high-level representatives of the Brotherhoods of Light, including Christ Essence and Sanat Kumara of the Order of Melchizedek. As the manuscript was nearing completion, Patricia was suddenly aware of an unfamiliar, powerful vibratory energy that introduced itself as the titanic beings of the galactic core. These awesome beings stated they were securers of galactic star grids to source divine energy. When asked their dimensional placement, they responded by stating that there were from beyond the beyond, existing both inside and outside universal realms. The main message of the series, We Are One, is complemented by its other themes. Why we have no reason to fear extraterrestrial involvement, how to realize our telepathic ability, and how to awaken humanity to proper stewardship of the earth. Patricia Perriaria, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, is a consciously aware, multidimensional telepath. She founded the Wolf Recovery Foundation in 1984. She lives with her husband in Boise, Idaho, where she writes and facilitates meditation and metaphysical groups. So I wanted to share this. This book, when you read this book, it's written so eloquently and just pours so much light and love and hope and clarity and understanding into your heart and into your soul. And I'm still blown away that I opened to randomly this page. And it just comes to show that synchronicity is truly real if we pay attention to it. And then the more we pay attention to the synchronicities that are given from God, that are given from everyday life, it connects us to more synchronicity, because when we become aware of it, then it becomes in our subconscious mind, and then in our conscious mind, and in our superconscious mind. So while the video is still going, I would like to read a little bit from the Masters. I'm randomly opening up to this. Speaking on behalf of this Christ essence, he who bathes the world in light by the direction of the holiest of holies, I am Sanat Kumara of the Universal Oneness Council of 24 Elders, dispenser of divine light throughout this galactic region. I am that which is referred to as the Prince of Light, brother to Christ essence, Sananda. They call Jesus Sananda. My I am presence is recognizable as the God Self that dwells within you. The Council of 24 Elders comprises beings who blend and bond divine light sound into birthing and advancing galaxies. Wow. So here is a little clip here. Here's a reflection on meditation, on birth, life, and death. And if my camera cuts out, it's meant to be. I love you and sparkle on. As you meditate, observe yourself entering a heavily wooded forest. It is richly carpeted with needles and cones that have dropped from hardy evergreens. In the midst of the forest stands a copse of ancient maples, It is early summer. Verdant, softly contoured leaves crowning the old maples dance in the shafts of sunlight, though the trunks and the branches are deeply gnarled. With the passing of many seasons, the leaves remain fresh and moist, recently birthed in the warming days of spring. In the quiescent heat of summer's long, lazy days, life is vital yet easily lived. Then, as autumn approaches, an aura of expectancy overcomes the leafy cousins of the pines that monopolize the woods. Spring's youth realized, summer's passions fulfilled, the leaves succumb to life's sweet impermanence. Enjoying one last ecstatic fling, they dress themselves in brilliant hues. Then, tired and longing to rest, they tug on their stems, straining to release themselves from life's elusive hold. Finally succumbing to time's beckoning call, they float, serenely silent, to their final resting place upon the forest floor. One bright, long, lonely leaf remains tenaciously dangling from a limb. One little soul refuses to detach itself from the life's melodious memories. Eventually, however, winter's cold coaxes even the hardiest individualist to follow its companions into the warm world of spirit. Nothing lost, for from the brittle remains of the leafy bodies, a fertile compost forms, seedbed material for future forests. The persistence with which humans hold on to life resembles the determination of the little leaf. Though it is instinctual for third-dimensional beings to hold tightly to the experience of living, ultimately life's tasks are complete. Then after a time of rest and renewal in the lands of spirit, soul, all aquiver with excitement and anticipation of life's profound opportunities, readies itself for rebirth. Each incarnation then readies soul for another season in which to grow. Birth, life, death, and decay, being essential to third-dimensional life, are like leaves, subject to the transitory nature of the seasons. Soul, however, is that ancient core of wisdom whose roots are deeply buried in the rich soil of eternal presence. Like a leaf, you may turn with the slightest breeze, for the human is barely conscious of the light-formed spirit body upon which its physical body is formed. Nevertheless, that part of greater self, soul, self with a capital S, soul with a capital S, like the trunk of a healthy tree, is strong and firmly planted. Many humans live apprehensive, stress-filled lives, for they view themselves as impermanent and insubstantial leaves. They fail to comprehend the reality that they are souls having transitory human experiences. Attempting to shield themselves from overwhelming anxiety and fear, they cover themselves with coatings of addictive self-indulgences, which of course does little to serve their highest good, or their soul's purpose for incarnated into human forms. A tree is a remarkably effective symbol for visualizing the four seasons of life: childhood, adolescence, young adult, and adulthood, and maturity. Even so, it can be argued that the stoutest oak is an impermanent third-dimensional fixture. Soul, being godlike in quality, however, is formed from everlasting substance. Delightful ones, you are soul. It is only your fleeting lives that resemble leaves, beautiful, fragile, and brief. Struggle to unburden yourselves from the